6:45 a.m. This is the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The news edited by J. Yogaraj, assisted by Sanjaya and read by Mario Vijayavardhana. The headlines. The Nipunata Sri Lanka National Work Plan commences today. The Easter Attacks Report, presented to the Mahanayaka Theros and Cardinal Ranjith. The Gazette notification related to the increase of the salary of the estate employees to 1,000 rupees will be issued soon. The 70th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Air Force will be celebrated on a grand scale today. 303 corona positive cases reported yesterday. The coronavirus death toll climbs to 476. In news overseas, the UN says tens of thousands of detainees still missing in Syria. In sports, the West Indies coach Phil Simmons says Sri Lanka series' first step to finalise makeup of our team for T20 World Cup. The Nipunata Sri Lanka National Work Plan commences today. This major drive is implemented by the Vocational Training Authority of Sri Lanka. The main objective of this whole exercise is to provide the know-how and necessary skills to the youth of this country to win the challenges of the present world. This work plan will commence today at the BMICH under the patronage of President Gotabaya Rajapaksa and Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa. A copy of the final report of the Presidential Commission of Inquiry on the Easter Sunday attacks has been handed over to the Archbishop of Colombo, Cardinal Malcolm Ranjith, yesterday. The Director General Legal Affairs of the Presidential Secretariat, Harigupta Rohanadira, presented the report to the Cardinal at the Archbishop's house yesterday. Meanwhile, the President's Media Division stated that the report was also presented to the Mahanayaka Theros of the Malvathu and Asgiri chapters. The report was presented to the Mahanayaka of the Malvatta chapter, Most Venerable Tibbatuave Sri Sumangala Thero, at the Malvattu Mahaviharya in Kandy, and to the Mahanayaka of the Askiriya chapter, Most Venerable Varkagoda Sri Jnanaratana Thero, at the Askiri Mahaviharya in Kandy. Minister Nimal Siripal de Silva says that the Gazette notification related to the increase of the salary of estate employees to 1,000 rupees will be issued soon. This is a promise made by the present government when they are elected to power. The minister said that it is a victory of the estate workers. Around 15 rounds of talks were held in this regard, he said. This news broadcast comes to you from the Sri Lanka Broadcasting Corporation. The 70th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Air Force will be celebrated today. A special function to mark this day will be held at the Air Force headquarters under the guidance of Air Force Commander Air Marshal Sudarshana Patirana. The Sri Lankan Air Force commenced its services way back in 1951 on the 2nd of March under the name Royal Ceylon Air Force. This name was changed to the Sri Lanka Air Force after the 22nd of May 1972 when Sri Lanka gained republic status. Meanwhile, the Indian Air Force also joins Sri Lankan Air Force in an aerobic show in Sri Lankan airspace to mark this day. A contingent of Indian Air Force and Indian Navy personnel arrived in Sri Lanka to participate in the 70th anniversary celebrations of the Sri Lanka Air Force. The Indian Air Force aerobatic display teams, the fixed-wing Surya Kirans and rotary-wing Sarang, along with light combat aircraft Tejas, arrived in Colombo, Sri Lanka on the 27th of February on an invitation from Air Marshal Sudarshana Patirana, Commander of the Sri Lanka Air Force, the Indian Ministry of Defence said in a statement. Sri Lanka has registered 111 more positive cases of COVID-19 yesterday, the Ministry of Health confirmed. Thereby, Sri Lanka has detected 303 new positive cases of COVID-19 within the day. As per statistics, the total number of COVID-19 infections confirmed so far in the country now stands at 83,546. Recoveries from the virus meanwhile climbed to 79,422 earlier as 475 more patients regained health. However, 3,653 active cases are still under medical care at select hospitals and treatment centres located across the island. The total lives claimed by the pandemic outbreak stands at 476 at present. Sri Lanka has reported 5 more coronavirus-related deaths, the Director General of Health Services confirmed. As per the Department of Government Information, 3 male patients and 2 female patients are among the victims. The new deaths bring the number of COVID-19 related deaths witnessed in Sri Lanka to 476 in total. A 73-year-old female resident from Ganemulla was diagnosed with COVID-19 and transferred from the Colombo South Teaching Hospital to the base hospital in Pimbura, where she died on the 1st of March 2021. The cause of death is mentioned as COVID-19 pneumonia and cancer in the gallbladder. A 75-year-old male resident from Colombo was diagnosed as infected with COVID-19 and transferred from the General Hospital in Colombo to the base hospital in Pimbura, where he died on the 26th of February 2021. The cause of death is COVID-19 pneumonia and diabetes. An 83-year-old male resident from Bulathkahupitia died on the 11th of February 2021 while undergoing treatment at the base hospital in Karavanalla. The cause of death is mentioned as COVID-19 pneumonia. A 61-year-old male resident from Kandy was diagnosed with COVID-19 and transferred from the teaching hospital in Peradeniya to the National Hospital in Kandy, where he died on the 28th of February 2021. The cause of death is mentioned as COVID-19 pneumonia. A 75-year-old female resident from Pujapitiya was diagnosed with COVID-19 and transferred from the National Hospital in Kandy to the base hospital in Theldeniya, where she died on the 1st of March 2021. The cause of death is COVID-19 pneumonia and heart failure. Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa focused his attention to regulate the health services under the central government as a closed service in the new draft constitution. The Prime Minister agreed to the request made by the President of the GMOA consultant Dr. Anuruddha Padeniya at a meeting held at the Temple Trees yesterday. Attention was focused on several issues related to the health sector and the doctors in this meeting. The Prime Minister instructed the Health Minister Pavitra Vanyarachi to take necessary measures to act Sri Lanka Medical Council as an independent organisation. The retirement age of all the doctors will be increased to 63 years. The final report of the Presidential Commission appointed to look into the corrupt activities in state institutions during the 2015-2018 era has been submitted to the Cabinet. President Gotabaya Rajapaksa has submitted this report to the Cabinet. The Presidential Commission is headed by retired Supreme Court Judge Upali Abeyarathne. Minister Dr. Bandula Gunawardena assures that no room will be provided to increase the rice prices during the next 3 years. The minister further said the control prices of Nadu, Samba and Kakalu will be maintained at 100 rupees. The government expects to maintain this price structure for the next 3 years. The minister also had a cordial discussion with the rice mill owners in this regard.
A mother knows the pain of each member of the family. Siddhalepa, the trusted relief for aches and pains.
An effective therapy for relief from cold, sneezing, flu, headaches, swelling due to toothaches, rheumatic, discomforts, and muscular aches and pains. Siddhalepa, the Veda Mahatmya in every home.
The main news story is brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Prime Minister Mahinda Rajapaksa focused his attention to regulate the health service under the central government as a closed service in the new draft constitution. The Prime Minister agreed to the request made by the President of the GMOA consultant Dr. Anuruddha Padeniya at a meeting held at the Temple Trees yesterday. Attention was focused on several issues related to the health sector and the doctors in this meeting.
The main news story was brought to you by Siddhalepa Veda Mahatmya.
Brush your teeth twice a day for healthy teeth and gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, your trusted brands in oral care for many years.
Supiriviki Ayurvedic toothpaste for adults. Kakulu Ayurvedic toothpaste for kids. 9 Ayurvedic ingredients of Supiriviki will protect your teeth and strengthen your gums. Supiriviki and Kakulu, products from Siddhalepa.
And now in Watchlight, the residents of the Dehiwala Mount Lavina area complained that the garbage is not collected on time along certain inner roads. This has caused immense difficulties to the motorists and residents of the area. This has created a health hazard in certain areas too. This is for the attention of the Dehiwala Municipal Council.
News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
In world news headlines, COVID vaccines cut risk of serious illness by 80% in over 80s. Syria war, tens of thousands of detainees still missing, UN says. Myanmar coup, Aung San Suu Kyi appears in court to face fresh charges. A single shot of either the Oxford AstraZeneca or the Pfizer-BioNTech COVID jab reduces the chance of needing hospital treatment by more than 80%, an analyst in England shows. The Public Health England data showed the effect kicked in 3 to 4 weeks after vaccination. It was based on people aged over 80 who were the first to receive the jab. Government scientists hailed the result but stressed that 2 doses were needed for the best protection. UN investigators say tens of thousands of civilians are still missing after being detained arbitrarily during 10 years of civil war in Syria. Thousands more have been tortured or killed in custody, according to a new report detailing alleged war crimes and crimes against humanity by all parties. Victims and witnesses described unimaginable suffering, including the rape of girls and boys as young as 11. The report says the issue is a national trauma that must be addressed. Myanmar's Aung San Suu Kyi has been seen for the first time since she was detained in a military coup after she appeared in court via video link. The ousted leader appeared to be in good health and asked to see her legal team, her lawyers say. 2 new charges were announced against Ms. Suu Kyi, who was arrested after the 1st of February coup. Meanwhile, protesters took to the streets again, despite Sunday seeing the deadliest day, with 18 killed. And now the main points of the World News segment once again. COVID vaccines cut risk of serious illness by 80% in over 80s. Syria war, tens of thousands of detainees still missing, UN says. Myanmar coup, Aung San Suu Kyi appears in court to face fresh charges.
World News. Brought to you by courtesy of...
From the first step you take till the time we meet, the trusted leader prioritizes you always. All you need under one roof. People's Leasing, the trusted leader.
Development News is brought to you by
CIB offers valuable prize for New Year from 1st of 15th of March. Our choice in our own place. CIB.
A PCR machine has been provided to the Kuliapitiya hospital. The PCR machine is worth 8 million rupees. The machine is installed with the financial support of the Kuliapitiya Pradeshya Sabha.
Development News was brought to you by
CIB offers valuable prize for New Year from 1st of 15th of March. Our choice in our own place. CIB.
And now in sports news in cricket. West Indies coach Phil Simmons feels that the key to success in the T20I series against Sri Lanka will be to adjust the dimensions, one side smaller than the other, of Antigua's Coolidge cricket ground as soon as possible. All 3 T20Is of the series will play at the same venue, which is hosting the international cricket for the first time. Simmons is also looking at this series as a step to start firming up the squad for the T20 World Cup later this year. In soccer, Vinicius Jr. marked his 100th Real Madrid appearance with a late equalizer against Real Sociedad in La Liga. Madrid dominated the first half with Mariano and Rafael Varane heading off the bar in the space of 2 minutes. Real Sociedad were much improved after the break and Porto scored an excellent header from Nacho Monreal's cross.
Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply. Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money.
Pan-Asian Power PLC, a Sri Lankan renewable energy solutions organisation and a leading supplier of renewable energy to the national grid, recently commissioned a 3-megawatt ground solar plant in Mathura, worth a total investment of 420 million rupees. Pan Asian Power is the equity investor and led all aspects of the construction, including in-house engineering, design, site acquisition, acquiring permission, simulation and procurement. Pan Asian Power also took the lead in securing power purchase agreements for the project.
Business News, sponsored by National Savings Bank, the safest place for your money. Contributory deposit of 1,000 rupees from NSB when your child enters grade 1. Open a Hapan Children's Service account for your kid today. Higher interest. Conditions apply.
Economic news, courtesy of...
Hello, Puta. Did you land already?
We're in transit and our flight got delayed.
How is Shani? Poor thing with her pregnancy.
Calm down, everything is sorted. Why, I have my LOLC World Card with me. We are at the VIP lounge.
LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
Despite the pall of gloom which engulfed the world last year, the only silver lining which surrounded Lanka was the highest ever recorded level of cinnamon exports, which stood at $38.2 billion for 2020 for 18,722 tons. Cinnamon exports have performed extremely well in 2020, even with the COVID-19 lockdown. If not for COVID disturbances to production, transport, delays in shipment due to non-availability of containers, and the shortages of high-priced higher grades due to producers manufacturing easier grades, the value could have been very much more. Credit should go to all actors in the entire cinnamon value chain who overcame all the difficulties created by COVID lockdowns. This is an excellent performance by any means, the chairman of the Cinnamon Training Academy, Sarda De Silva, told media.
Congratulations on your promotion. Heard you gave a treat for everyone in your department yesterday.
Yeah.
When will be our treat, huh?
Well, how about today?
Oh no, I was just joking. We'll have a party with your new salary.
It's fine. I have my LOLC credit card with me. Let's go out today.
Those who spread goodness radiate happiness to everyone around them. Introducing LOLC Finance Credit Cards. Fuel the goodness in you.
And now for the weather report. The Met Department says, except for a few thunder showers in the evening or night, at a few places in the Galla, Matara and Ratnapura districts, mainly fair weather will prevail elsewhere over the island. Misty conditions can be expected at some places in the central, Sabaragama, Uva and western provinces during the morning. This weather report was issued this morning at 4:30 a.m. Further details could be obtained by visiting the official website of the department. That was the weather report, and now the headlines of this news broadcast once again. The Nipunatha Sri Lanka National Work Plan commences today. The Easter tax report presented to the Mahanayaka Pharaohs and Cardinal Ranjith. The Gazette notification related to the increase of the salary of the estate employees to 1,000 rupees will be issued soon. The 70th anniversary of the Sri Lanka Air Force will be celebrated on a grand scale today. 303 corona positive cases reported yesterday. The coronavirus death toll climbs to 476. In news overseas, UN says tens of thousands of detainees still missing in Syria. In sports news, the West Indies coach Phil Simmons says Sri Lanka series first step to finalise makeup of our team for T20 World Cup. That concludes this news broadcast, and now it's back to your host as always on a Tuesday morning, Sandhi Savam on the other side, in shades of pink and maroon today. Over to you, Sandhi.